Welcome back to What Arty Noobs. This is an ARL 44, it's a tier 6 French heavy tank. It's located on the westbourne of Sand River and it's under the command of Marybanks, and at the time she was in 12R. Now, this heavy tank was designed during the war to make use of the hulls that were left over from the Char B1s, but it wasn't a very good tank. In fact, it was diabolically bad. Let's see which gun she's got. Okay, she's got the 105mm, which is basically the high caliber dirt gun. Most of them are 90mm guns. A few even smaller caliber than that. Yeah, so basically it's a Char B1 which has been, well, redesigned. Got a good turret on top, but it's rather slow. And the armour on the front is absolutely pretty bad. In fact, David Fletcher said this was one of the worst heavy tanks in that the French ever designed. At least he didn't think much of it. He thought it was rather poor. Maybe not as bad as the Valiant tank, but it's still pretty bad. It does have sloped armour at the front, but not that that would actually stop the enemy shells. Well, Marybanks is still going through the riverbank, or the riverbed, to get to the enemy. Done a bit of a circuit there because she could have actually gone driven straight south, but she says she's had to go around, and that's given her time to consider what's going on ahead of her and deploy in the right spot. You can see there was an enemy tank in the village. He just got killed. That was a Crusader. We've got a KV2 and a KV1 just around the corner, and there's a Cromwell B in the south, or rather there was a Cromwell B in the south. He's now been wiped out. So she's doing something rather dangerous here, going into the jaws of death with that KV2. She can do 300 alpha, penetrating 175mm of armour. But that doesn't necessarily mean she'll stop around from a KV2, except by losing a lot of hit points in the process. There's the KV2. He's not looking this way, and he takes around 316. He's still not looking in this direction. And he's about to die if he's not careful. Yes, he has. That was the KV2 driver who wasn't really paying attention. She takes around from a Stug 3G. She's now going to destroy this KV1. And she rams him. And she's getting ready to shoot him. She should easily be able to penetrate him. Here we go. Yes! He's out the game, but she did take some damage. And the enemy are now coming back because they've suddenly realised, yeah, we've got a heavy tank in our rear. And Marybanks is starting to pick up hit points. There's a T-52 just around that corner. Took a 57mm round from him for 90 hit points. Damaged her radio. She really needs to worry about that Stug. He's still there, and there's an M44. Let's have a look. Where is he? He's actually in the corner, right in the corner, in that little bowl. Okay, so her tracks are fixed. She's more concerned about the T-52. I think I'd be more concerned about that Stug. But let's have a look and see what she does next. Well, she's decided to go up by this channel, and the T-52 is going to get pot shots on her from over there. She can shoot at the VK-30OP. That's when he was back, when he was a medium. The T-52 appears to be near his cap now. He's actually done a circuit and come all the way round. The VK can't see her, but she's using the bush mechanic on him. He's getting close to the cap. I would have gone the long way round, actually. Oh, there's a Sherman up there. Yes, if she was to turn to her right, she could probably go around the rock. That will protect her from these two guys and give her shots on the enemies that are fighting her teammates. The VK's got really close. He's just over that rise. So she's deciding to actually engage them head on. VK. Yes, good shot. Took him out for 215. There's still a Sherman up there. And I think she's going to drop down into the other part of the riverbed and work her way round. And lo and behold, she's found that T-52 again. Now she auto-aimed on and she got a shot into him. 271, a good shot but low roll. She's chasing him, and she's found the Sherman as well. Unfortunately, she took a round from him for 106, and now she's down to just 112 hit points left. She needs to go defensive at this point. Angle. Yeah, let her teammates go at that T-52. Yeah, you see, just fired into her tracks. She can't get a shot on him. He's too quick to pull back on her. So she's had to move over. The Sherman can't get a shot on her when she's over here, but he can jump down on top of her if he can get it right. Yeah, and while she's distracted, you see, with the Sherman, the T-52 will just take shots at her. Yes, one goes in. We know you're there. Oh, good shot, Mary. And here comes the Sherman. Decided to drop in on her. But she's loading. She's loading. And... nice one. Yes, she did manage to beat him on the reload. That means there's only one enemy left. It's a T-34 shielded. He's way out in the desert to the north, and there's no point in Marybanks trying to chase him. He's just way too fast for her, and so the best thing she can do is actually just go into the gap and force him to come to her. So she survived the battle on just 27 hit points. The FV304 has actually gone out to hunt for him, but I think the best thing to do is just cap, force him to come back. He's actually just killed our M44. He's up at the other cap. There's no way Marybanks can get back in time to do some damage, so best thing to do is just get in the cap, end the game. Not sure why she's doing this. She'd be much better off just getting into the cap. T-34 85, T-34 shielded. It's not coming back. If he did, he would get killed, so he knows it. Well, there's the VP. He came south for his own safety, or in fact, east for his own safety. There's a possibility that Marybanks might actually meet the T-34 shielded if this goes on much longer. No, they're going to cap out. Well, she's completed her mission anyway. That mission was to damage to heavy tanks 12,000 and hit points of damage and destroy 2 enemy vehicles. There's the T-34 shielded off in the distance, but they're about to cap out, and they've done so. So, it's a victory. She did take some damage, but it was fun watching it. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, it's a first-class tanker for Marybanks in the ARL 44, which David Fletcher thinks is a dreadful tank. But she managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. She got 5 duelists for taking down 2 tanks who damaged her, the T-52 and that Sherman. And she also got a 5 for effect for doing more damage than hit points for her vehicle. And a Hand of God for surviving the battle, having received damage from 4 different enemy tanks. She got a Spartan medal for bouncing around when she had less than 10% of her hit points left. And she also got a High Caliber for dealing the most damage in the game. And her win rate from that one was 4,393, which is Super Unicum standard. So it shows that Mary is getting very good. So watch out, folks. And, well, let's have a look at the team score, see where she stands. 1,524 hit points of damage, the High Caliber. 1,074 went to the T-67 on the enemy team. Marybanks didn't meet him, but the M10 on her own team managed to get 1,030, and he got an invader. He was one of the ones capping, and he stayed in the cap to manage to get at least 80 cap points in the process. The next next highest score after that was the M44 in the enemy team with 833 hit points. When it came to kills, it was Marybanks with 5 kills, 1/3 of the enemy team. 3 kills went to the Fifi, and we've got 2 kills for the M44, the T-34 shielded, and the Cromwell. And when it came to base XP, it's Marybanks who got the highest with 1009. Not enough for an ace tanker, but it was the only score over 1000 base. 786 going to the M10 RBFM and 471 going to the Sherman Jumbo. And he managed to pick up a steel wall. Marybanks fired 10 rounds, got 10 direct hits, 8 penetrations, damage of 1,524 hit points, all of it at close range. Received 10 hits from the enemy, 4 of them penetrated, 2 non-penetrations, and 6 hits by way of splash damage. She blocked damage of 85 hit points in total. I think it was one of the shots that came from the T-52, and spotted 4 enemy vehicles, damaged 5 of the enemy, destroyed 5 of the enemy, and did 934 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, she earned 38,337 credits, and after repair and ammunition resupply took away 30,826 credits. She picked up 26 bonds from that game, and she also picked up 1,513 XP, 7,570 for completing the mission and events, and took away 9,083 experience points altogether. So a very good game for Marybanks in that one. Not sure why she did that circuit at the start of the battle, but it did give her time to work out what she was going to do next after everyone else deployed. And she did deploy very well. In fact, I'm surprised that the KV-2 didn't wait for her to come around the corner and ambush her with a big round. But yes, he was obviously previously occupied by somebody else and just didn't pay attention when Marybanks started putting rounds into him. So, if you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel. And thank you for watching.